Hi there, welcome back to the Fed Talks. My name's Nathan Hall, and today we're with One Stop Franchise. We've got Tim on. Tim, how you doing?
Yeah, no, good. Looking forward to a warm weekend.
Wonderful. So obviously we've had One Stop on a few times, but not yourself, Tim. So before we dive into online, which is what we're talking about today, do you want to give an intro to yourself, your background, and your role at One Stop as well?
Yeah, no, sure. So yeah, I'm Tim Joseph. I head up online at One Stop. So when we talk online at One Stop, it's all things on-demand grocery delivery. So that's working with the likes of Deliveroo, Just Eat, Uber to deliver to our local communities, both in company-owned stores and our franchise estate.
Wonderful, Tim. So obviously One Stop have been around for a long time. Where did online begin? Tell me about the start of it.
Yeah, no, sure. Well, so it kind of dates back to around sort of September 2019. So kind of pre-pandemic, and actually, my boss at the time, Johnny, who was our MD, came back from America and had been in a restaurant where he was sat there, and actually he was the only customer in the actual restaurant, and yet these drivers were coming in non-stop and taking out orders to be delivered, and he asked me to kind of explore that, look into it, what's going on here. And actually, it didn't take long to realize if you look at the quick service restaurant kind of industry like McDonald's, they were already quite getting into this game about these kind of quick deliveries, less than 30 minutes to customers. And actually, we were starting to see some of that go into grocery. So really, it kind of evolved from there. We were kind of getting ready to do a trial. And then the pandemic kicked off around March in 2020. So that kind of played to that because we were so busy in store, we wanted to focus on that in-store experience at that point. So really, it didn't really get going and ultimately until probably around November 2020, and really, it's gone from strength to strength since then.
Wonderful. Great backstory is how it started. Since then, since 2019, what's the growth looked like? Where are we now?
Yeah, well, phenomenal, really. I describe it. So in that 2020, we initially went live on one platform, Deliveroo, 200 stores. Now today, as we speak, we've got about 700 stores live. Our sales have doubled every year for the last sort of 2.5 years now that we've been running. We now got a population reach of just shy of 50% of the UK population, and that's the beauty of this delivery is actually we're able now to reach further afield than actually our typical stores would because of the ability to deliver further afield. We've grown range size from 500 products to now 3,000. And what's really encouraging is we're seeing these sales are like incremental to in-store. We're reaching new customers. We're encouraging customers to shop more often with us. So, it's been a real success story for us so far.
Wonderful, Tim. So this online delivery model, what have you been doing behind the scenes to make it a lot more simple?
Yeah, well, and to be honest, that right from day one, our big focus was around simplicity
Yeah.
because we could get into delivery and you hear lots of stories about delivery, but delivery being really expensive, loss-making organizations, etc., running off. So it was really important that we kept it simple. So that if we keep it simple for stores, then actually what that means is that the cost from a labor point of view is quite low, but also by keeping it simple, it means we can pick orders quickly and therefore deliver them quickly to customers. And we know speed was really important. So really that first 12 months, we really learned a lot about what it was that we needed to do. And then we spent probably the last 12 months really implementing that. So we picked up a piece of software, a company called Deliverect, who basically enabled us to take a lot of time out of the process. So before, stores would scan out orders to correct their stock files, so that when we did all replenishment processes that would work, actually through that integration, it meant that we could just send the order straight into their back office, and literally overnight took sort of 25% of the task away.
Yeah.
But also things like managing in and out of stocks, we've integrated with our system. So now that the stores don't have to worry about marking things in and out on the menus, it will just go off what's available in their stock file. And even things like, changing the product description so that when it come to picking the order, it was really simple and quick for the stores to do because they could find the right product without having to try and guess what it was that they were trying to go and find based on a poor description, as an example. So, just a few examples, I suppose, about where we've utilized technology and looked at our processes to try and make it as quick as possible, which then ultimately leads to a quicker delivery time for customers, which is the most important piece.
Certainly, simplicity is absolutely the key, and I love the Deliverette idea. So Tim, for the retailers, the convenience store operators watching this video, they probably want to know what's the real core benefit for them for offering this service. What is it?
Yeah, it's incremental sales growth, and it's reaching further afield. It's a great marketing tool. So, you know, being on these platforms, you know, you get great visibility of your brand. So we're reaching new customers as well as ultimately converting them into sales, driving, you know, incremental growth for the business and the additional profit that comes on the back of that. And it is about that sort of utilizing the asset and sweating the asset, I suppose, a bit further. So, you know, a lot of, you hear about these dark store operators where actually they've got to try and cover their, you know, not only are they trying to cover the cost of labor and the cost of the goods, etc., and delivery, they've also got, you know, rent and rates, they've got energy bills, etc., to cover. Well, actually, you know, by using an existing store that obviously we've got circa 700 of those and many independent retailers out there, actually use your asset. You already got those fixed costs in terms of your rent and rates and those. So actually, if you can then use that site to do something extra in terms of delivery, it just helps to, you know, ultimately drive the profitability of the store. That, you know, and we all know the cost of living crisis, you know, not just hitting us as individuals, but as businesses as well. And this was just another way to really help, you know, help compensate for some of those additional costs and just, you know, support from a profitability point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, if I was a retailer, it's a no-brainer to at least have a conversation and have a look at. So this all sounds amazing, Tim. What's next for One Stop? What's in the pipeline?
Well, so our biggest focus at the moment is growing with our franchise estate. So we've already got about 100 of our just over 300 franchise stores live on online, and it's a great opportunity because we've done the work for the company stores. You know, we've got you know, we can manage the menu centrally, we can push down promotions, etc., and do that all for them. What we're now doing is really pushing this out to our franchise estate and giving them the opportunity to benefit, because for them now all they've really got to worry about is to pick an order and pack it, and then the courier turns up, and actually we'll manage everything else for them. So it's gone down really well with our franchisees, and that's a real big focus. You know, we've got 100, there's another 200 or so that we think the opportunity is there, and we're just really focusing on rolling that out. But then also looking at, you know, new services potentially. So we hear a lot about things like social selling is starting to grow a bit in terms of things like Facebook, and even you can send WhatsApp messages to place orders now, and all sorts of technology around all those different social media sort of channels out there. So that's an area that we'll certainly look to explore. And then just, you know, where next really. So, you know, is click and collect an opportunity? You know, what else is going on in the marketplace around sort of delivery and those kind of services, and really look to kind of grow that. So kind of grow existing stores and existing estate, but then look at kind of what's the next services that are out there and how we can sort of continue to grow this opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, that all sounds brilliant. Thanks so much for joining us, first of all, this afternoon. And we'll hopefully catch up with you soon when delivery continues to grow. But thanks again, and have a brilliant weekend. Cheers.
No, thank you.
Cheers.